joy at the aquarium as Miss Helen returned home.
I was devastated when I found out that it happened, and now that we actually have her here, I'm overjoyed.
Police say inside the garage of one of the suspects' homes, they found an extensive collection of marine life that they say looked like a mock-up of the San Antonio Aquarium. One man has been charged with theft, and 2 people who were with him have charges pending. Miss Helen is said to be doing well, still in quarantine for the moment until she gets acclimated to being back at home.
Did they put a price on Miss Helen?
On Facebook, if this was the real thief, they posted $300. But according to police, they say that they really had no intentions to sell it. They believe that this was somebody trying to make this part of their home aquarium.
Wow. What a story.
All right,
Thanks so much, Lindsay. Let's go back to Rob.
Hey, George, this is something you don't see often. Look at this. A palm tree snapped in half by 74-mile-per-hour winds there in the western part of Phoenix. Big dust storm, actually a dust delay at the minor league baseball park there in the western part of town. And damaging winds over 80,000 people at one point without power. Time for your Tuesday trivia brought to you by The Spy with Who Dumped Me.
This Friday.
If we don't deliver this package, a lot of people are going to die.
You're a better spy than your ex-co-host. They have the skills.
People get caught when they're not confident.
Are you new? I usually do with Cesar.
They have the look.
We switch places. We're still going to be a blonde and a brunette.
Oh my god.
I hope this isn't what gets us killed tonight.
They have each other.
We're on the news. I just don't believe that Audrey would ever do this. She's not that sophisticated. She's 30 years old and she doesn't even have a bed frame.
A box spring counts.
The Spy Who Dumped Me. Rated R Friday.
Today, off to a cloudy start, and it could be a...
Did you get my back? Covered. Don't suffer from bad coverage. Project 5, a better phone.
Chances of rain as we get into the afternoon and evening hours, so be sure to keep your rain gear handy as you head out the door this morning. We're expecting numerous showers and thunderstorms, some of which could produce very heavy rainfall today. The high temperature in the upper 80s instead of the 90s, and we're going to stay in the 80s for the next several days, quite wet.
The latest on embattled CBS chairman Les Moonves facing those sexual misconduct allegations. What his wife, Julie Chen, is now saying. And one of the network's biggest stars, Stephen Colbert, addressing it head-on last night.
And how Wilbur went above and beyond to rescue an injured dog. You see her right there, carried 6 miles down a mountain on her shoulders.
Hurry into Old Navy for the kids and baby sale with up to 60% off with styles from $2, $4, $6, and $8. Make back-to-school shopping easy with buy online, pick up in store with styles from $2, $4, $6, and $8. Only at Old Navy.
At Safe Light Auto Glass, we really pride ourselves in making it easy for you to get your windshield fixed.
Turn in your science papers.
This teacher always puts her students first.
I do mine.
You would see it? Oh, I can't read that.
So when she had auto glass damage, she chose Safe Light. With Safe Light, she could see exactly when we'd be there.
Must be concealed.
Yes, ma'am. Saving her time. So she can save the science project.
My mom washes the dishes before she puts them in the dishwasher. So what does the dishwasher do?
New Cascade Platinum does the work for you. Pre-washing and removing stuck-on foods the first time.
Wow, that's clean.
New Cascade Platinum.
That snack just sounded boring. No photos, please. Bye-bye, Lynn. Hello, delicious.
Rich, creamy, 100% real cheese with many, many bellows. Snack time is sale.
Take that.
A Hilton getaway means you get more because you get another day in paradise. Get a sunset on a Sunday. Get more stories to share. Get more from your summer getaway with exclusive Hilton offers. Book yours only at Hilton.com.
They all say control your ratings. What I do is not go blue dotted almonds. Honey roasted. Let me control another one. Don't control your ratings. Eat them.
All the flavors you crave in a superfood. Blue Diamond Almonds. Crave victoriously.
I've got to tell you something important. It's not going to be easy. Quicksilver earns you unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere. Actually, that's super easy. My bad.
Psoriatic arthritis tries to get it my way.
Watch me.
Are
trade lots of things for my joint pain. Now, watch me.
Think I'd give up showing these guys how it's done? Please.
Real people with active psoriatic arthritis are changing the way they fight it. They're moving forward with Cosentyx. It's a different kind of targeted biologic. It's proven to help people find less joint pain and clearer skin. Don't use if you are allergic to Cosentyx. Before starting Cosentyx, you should be checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms of an infection, or if you have received a vaccine or plan to. If you have inflammatory bowel disease, tell your doctor if symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions may occur.
With less joint pain, watch me.
For less joint pain and clearer skin, ask your rheumatologist about Cosentyx.
This is WLOX News Now, with what's happening right now in South Mississippi.
One Coast Casino gearing up to make history this week. Boulevard and the Gold Strike Casino in Tunica will accept Mississippi's first legal sports bets Wednesday. This just a few months after the U.S. Supreme Court ruling allowing states to offer sports wagers. The two MGM Resort properties will host a celebration, and they will simultaneously accept the first bets at noon Wednesday. Crews are tearing up the pavement for a vital road widening project on D'Iberville Boulevard. This video showing just how much of the work's already been done. It will still take a matter of weeks, though, to take down the street signals and turn this intersection at Pops Ferry Road into a three-way stop. D'Iberville City Manager Clay Jones said that this project is meant to alleviate traffic congestion and install new drainage. A look at Tuesday's weather right after this.
Hey, Morris boy, I just wanted to thank you. I don't know what I'd do after my accident without you. I couldn't be happier. The money I got, trust me, I'm gonna put it to good use. I just wanted to send this to say thank you.
You may be like James. He was injured in a car wreck and called. We got him $160,000. For over 30 years, I've been telling everyone injured in car wrecks to make that one call. If you've been injured in a car wreck, you know what to do. Just call me. One call, that's all.
Sure, I heard about College Savings Mississippi, but I can't afford to save something right now.
You can't afford to save? You can't afford nothing to save. Have you seen the price of gas? Have you seen the price of college?
Yeah, Mom. Claude gives when he cries. He's in third grade. I've got plenty of time.
Third grade? He's halfway to college.
Halfway to college?
Good thing Massive Impact make it easier to save for college and offer special tax advantages.
Want to get the Mockingbird off your back? We can help. We're signing you up for College Savings Mississippi right now. Way to go, Echo.
It's back to school time at Rooms to Go Kids. The best time to get amazing back to school sale prices on our huge selection of kids' rooms. Now, buy a room and get a bonus desk for just $99. Choose from a great selection. Save on bunks and lofts with built-in study solutions, plus mattresses, desk chairs, and more on sale during the back to school sale at Rooms to Go Kids and Teens.
It's everything you want inside the world now. Decorating easy at Rooms to Go.
Mississippi's giant house party is in full swing. Make sure to watch WLOX News Now this Wednesday. And Dave Elliott and Doug Walker give you a look at the sights and sounds of this year's Neshoba County Fair. This Wednesday at WLOX News Now.
You have to have the passion. And then when you come here, you have to have compassion.
Every day, she's lending a helping hand to some of the most needy in our area. How Judy Cottrell's mission makes her South Mississippi strong.
Now, WLOX First Alert Weather with meteorologist Wesley Williams.
All right, everybody, today, plenty of clouds to start on our Mississippi Power Tower cam at Boulevard. And temperature right now, 83 degrees in Biloxi. So we didn't really cool off very much at all for the coastal locations. They stayed at 80 pretty much all night. We even see 70s in the inland areas, which usually get down into the lower 70s, but still mid-70s right now, Lucedale, Wiggins. Here's a look at the first alert radar. Maybe see one little shower right there forming around Escataba, near and north of I-10. Other than that, I don't see any rain quite yet for our area. That's going to change. Numerous thunderstorms expected today. Very heavy rainfall with high rain chances. Temperatures are going to be in the 80s. Probably not seeing much 90s today. This is all thanks to an upper disturbance targeting the Gulf Coast. Possibly some severe damaging weather out of that, but it looks like the chances are going to be very low, if any at all, for severe damaging weather between noon and midnight today.
WLOX News Now, sponsored by Scarlet Pearl Casino Resort, D'Iberville.
Where can you get cash fast? Right here with the Speedy Cash Title Loan. Get up to $2,500 cash. And in a year, make or model, you can keep your keys and keep your car. Apply today for a Speedy Cash Title Loan.
Love that Speedy Cash.
With McDonald's $3 daily deals, save on a different breakfast entree and coffee, soft drink, or sweet tea. Just $3. Get a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit on Monday and an egg McMuffin on Friday. McDonald's $3 daily deals.
At Allstate, not only do we stand behind our windows, we stand on our windows.
Allstate windows.
Who? Like I said, folks, you may hate our commercials, but you'll love our prices.
Investigate TV tackles the top topics with in-depth journalism led by award-winning journalist Lee Zerman. We're your watchdog. Search Investigate TV on your Roku device. Download it now.
WLOX Gulf Coast Weekend helps make your weekend better.
Where can you get cash fast? Right here with the Speedy Cash Title Loan. Get up to $2,500 cash. And in a year, make or model, you can keep your keys and keep your car. Apply today for a Speedy Cash Title Loan.
Love that Speedy Cash.
The new school year is almost here, and a new iPhone from T-Mobile is the best way to keep in touch. Or keep tabs on their extracurricular activities.
He skipped orientation for the beach. He takes after me. You know it's true.
Join T-Mobile and get an iPhone for everyone in the family. Buy an iPhone 8, get an iPhone 8 on us. Only at T-Mobile.
I'm a migraine sufferer, and I'm an ENT. When I get a migraine at work, it's debilitating. If I fall out with a migraine, that's one less ambulance to serve a community. I just don't want to let these people down.
Excedrin migraine. Relief that works as hard as you do.
You got it from your parents, and they got it from theirs. It's your skin, and it can protect you from millions of things. So we're here to help you protect your skin. Walgreens pharmacists and drug consultants are specially trained to know what works for the health of your unique skin. Walgreens, trusted since 1901. Now all Suncare products are buy one, get one 50% off. Wow. That's an aggressive look.
Pretty great, huh? I find it very appealing.
New Kellogg's Raisin Bran with bananas. 2 scoops mean real banana slices.
Done a good job raising you.
You know that voice. That is country music megastar Kenny Chesney. His new hit, Get Along. And get ready, No Shoes Nation. Kenny is right here in Times Square this morning. We're going to chat with him, and of course he's going to perform live.
I don't know stuff when you come down. Get
You're, especially when I've been home in Mississippi after one last week.
We're very much looking forward to that. But first, the top headlines we're following right now, at least 63 large fires burning across the West this morning. The massive car fire scorching more than 100,000 acres in Northern California, leading to this giant fire-nado. Houses are going up in flames as thousands of firefighters trying to battle this blaze. And lawsuits now starting in that duck boat tragedy in Missouri that killed 17 people. A $100 million wrongful death suit has been filed on behalf of 2 of the 9 members of that Indianapolis family who drowned when the boat capsized in that storm. And Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Bob Woodward just announcing he's publishing a new book called Fear, Trump in the White House. It's described as revealing, in quote, unprecedented detail the harrowing life inside Donald Trump's White House. It will be released on September 11th.
It sparked a little fear inside the White House. Bob Woodward always does some pretty amazing reporting. We're going to begin this half hour with the latest on the embattled chairman of CBS, Les Moonves. The CBS board is letting him keep his job for now as they launch an outside investigation into sexual misconduct allegations. And overnight, CBS star Stephen Colbert tackled the issue head-on. ABC's Eva Pilgrim is here with the story. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, George. This morning, Les Moonves still at the helm of CBS. Overnight, the corporation he's been running for 15 years announcing it will hire outside counsel to investigate sexual misconduct claims against him. 6 women have come forward claiming Moonves made unwanted sexual advances toward them, ranging from kissing to sexual assault. Overnight, one of Les Moonves' network's top stars tackling the topic head on.
Well, you know the old saying, how do you get in a Ronan Farrow article? Practice, practice, practice.
Stephen Colbert calling the CBS CEO his guy, but adding that there is still a need to hold powerful men like him accountable.
I like working for him. But accountability is meaningless unless it's for everybody, whether it's the leader of a network or the leader of the free world.
On Monday, Moonves' wife, Julie Chen, one of the network's biggest personalities, host of both Big Brother and The Talk, coming to his defense.
Now, some of you may be aware of what's been going on in my life for the last few days.
Chen addressing the allegations against her husband on The Talk, referencing a tweet she put out on Friday, calling him a kind, decent, and moral human being.
I will stand by that statement today, tomorrow, forever.
Moonves isn't the first network executive to come under fire for alleged sexually inappropriate behavior. Former Fox News chief officer Roger Ailes was forced to resign from the network he helped create in July of 2016, 2 weeks after former morning anchor Gretchen Carlson filed a lawsuit against the network for sexual harassment. Ailes denied Carlson's allegations, but ultimately took a $40 million buyout and left the company over the controversy.
CBS is Les Moonves, and Les Moonves is CBS. For him to negotiate an exit, it would be a giant payday for him. Some have speculated up to $300 million.
And now this CBS independent investigation will be looking at more than just the Moonves allegations. It will also be looking into the corporate culture at the company, Amy.
All right, Eva, thank you. Our chief legal analyst, Dan Abrams, is here along with employment attorney Nancy Erica Smith, who represented Gretchen Carlson in her sexual harassment suit against former Fox News CEO Roger Ailes. Good morning to both of you. And Nancy, it looks like, for now, at least, Moonves is staying on at CBS. What's your reaction to that decision?
I think that's a very bad decision. That puts a lot of pressure on the current employees. He's the CEO. If there's an investigation, I don't think it's independent. I think that the board said they were hiring outside counsel, which means their lawyer. The New Yorker reported that their chief compliance officer said it was still Betsy Plevin who was allegedly investigating Mr. Rose since May 3rd. She's a defense lawyer. She spent her career defending harassers and employers. So I don't think that's the best independent investigator, and I think it puts a lot of pressure on current employees if they're being interviewed about their existing boss.
And you mentioned Charlie Rose, Nancy. It's interesting, Dan, because CBS, as we know, was very quick to act against the allegations against Mr. Rose. Doesn't seem to be quite the case, at least for now, against Les Moonves. What do you think the chances are of keeping his job, Dan?
I think they're very slim. That long term, for example, I think it's slim that a year from now, Les Moonves will still be running CBS. I would assume that this is an effort by the board to negotiate some sort of agreement with him to step down, and that would include a payout, whether it's $300 million or a lot less than that. I would expect that that's what's going on. But look, let's remember, this is a different situation than Charlie Rose. And I think it's important that we not lump all of these in and say, well, this happened here and this happened here, and we have to do this exactly the same thing in every case. That doesn't mean that that should dictate what happens here, but this is a different case than Charlie Rose. And I think that the board, this just happened, and I don't expect it's going to take a long time to resolve it.
And Nancy, I saw you shaking your head when you heard about the payouts. You worked obviously with Gretchen Carlson and other women. Talk about how difficult it is for them to step forward, and then to hear about these payouts, how that impacts.
It's outrageous. What about all the women whose career he's actually ruined? Ileana Douglas discusses never having another job at CBS. I mean, these men walk away with millions and millions of dollars, $40 million, from Mr. Ailes after decades of harassing women. It's outrageous, and the women don't land on their feet. They're blackballed in the industry. So I find it outrageous that they're talking about paying him. Why don't they hire back all the women he harassed? Why don't they hire Gretchen Carlson? Let's put women back where they belong. Who knows the cultural influences we've lost, the stories that are never going to be told because women were forced out of their jobs for complaining about harassment.
And one of the interesting questions is going to be, if there are more lawsuits moving forward, right?
Is that the same guy that does live PD?
Is you see something like this open the door.
One person says,
and then, right, exactly. And then you hear more stories coming.
He is a lawyer.
And if that happens, I think they'll immediately take action. Meaning, if there's some sort of, you
think that's why he does live PD?
of additional people coming forward.
You think that's why he does live PD? Because he's a lawyer. He knows all about it.
He is CBS. I mean, how does this impact the network and the media in
He was given an
general?
opportunity.
Yes, he is CBS. Yes, he's been an incredible leader of CBS as a sort of content and kingmaker, etc. But they'd be able to survive without Les Moonves there.
Roger Ailes was Fox News, and Fox News survived him leaving.
He was even more, and Roger Ailes was even more Fox News than Les Moonves is CBS.
But in terms of other women coming forward, we have even admittedly NDAs. We have non-disclosure agreements at CBS. And we have mandatory arbitration, and this is what shuts women up.
And I know that's what President Carlson has been working on from a legislative perspective. Nancy, Dan, thank you. A different Nancy and Dan. That's all right.
I like this one. I'm just going to say this one's a little more this time of the morning. This time of the morning. This is a more relaxing one. Yeah,
right now, Robin.
Yeah, don't check your email or your phone. Coming up, we have the dating app dangers. The man accused of murder preying on women using dating sites. Come on back.
Guardians asked, when it comes to managing your type 2 diabetes, what matters to you? You got A1C, heart, diet, and exercise. Slide them up or slide them down. So let's see. For most of you, it's lower A1C. But only a few of you are thinking about your heart. Fact is, even though it helps to manage A1C, type 2 diabetes still increases your risk of a fatal heart attack or stroke. Jardiance is the only type 2 diabetes pill with a life-saving cardiovascular benefit for adults who have type 2 diabetes and heart disease, significantly reducing the risk of dying from a cardiovascular event and lowering A1C, along with diet and exercise.
This really changes things.
Jardiance can cause serious side effects, including dehydration. This may cause you to feel dizzy, faint, or lightheaded, or weak upon standing. Ketoacidosis is a serious side effect that may be fatal. Symptoms include nausea, vomiting, stomach pain, tiredness, and trouble breathing. Stop taking Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of ketoacidosis or an allergic reaction. Symptoms of an allergic reaction include rash, swelling, and difficulty breathing or swallowing. Do not take Jardiance if you are on dialysis or have severe kidney problems. Other side effects are sudden kidney problems, genital yeast infections, increased bad cholesterol, and urinary tract infections, which may be serious. Taking Jardiance with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar. Tell your doctor about all the medicines you take and if you have any medical conditions.
Ask your doctor about Jardiance and get to the heart of what matters. Super Evan just about sleeps in her kid. But when we realized she was battling sensitive skin, we switched to Tide Pods Free and Gentle. It's gentle on her skin and outcleans the other free and clear detergent. Dermatologist recommended. It's gotta be Tide. This Friday, Christopher Robin is the thing with it. Oh, yes! Oh, no.
Would you believe my boy used to have food sensitivities? But then we fed him Blue Basics, and he's never looked or felt better.
If your dog has food sensitivities, it's time to try limited ingredient Blue Basics.
If you're really hungry for a slice of pie, why buy the whole pie? And if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big? Luckily, there's a wireless company for people like you, Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $15 a month. Plus, AARP members get special discounts, and you get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call us, go online, or visit a Target store today.
I'm Brian. I was in the military for 18 years, but I smoked, and I got heart disease. My tip is, it's hard to serve your country when you're too weak to put on your uniform.
You can't quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
Hey, Mr. Bart. I wasn't hurt that bad in my wreck, but the insurance company wasn't offering me anything. I want to say thank you for all your help. Your staff really helped me out. I couldn't have done it without you. Thanks again. Bye.
I'm so glad Janet called. She was in a minor car wreck and was being lowballed by the insurance company. She called and we got her $42,250. If you've been injured in a car wreck, you know what to do. Just call me. One call, that's all.
We're back now with that dating app danger. A man accused of using dating sites to prey on and attack women, even kill one of them, is now in custody. Ariel Reshef is here with that story. Good morning, Ariel.
Good morning to you, Robin. Police say Daniel Drayton leveraged the prospect of love to lure women into a dangerous trap. At least one of those dates allegedly turning deadly. This morning, investigators are warning there could be more victims. This murder suspect in court Monday after police say he used dating apps to bait women in a string of barbaric attacks on both coasts.
This individual uses dating websites to meet women and then victimize these women.
Police sources say 27-year-old Daniel Drayton claimed to be involved in as many as 7 murders and other violent crimes. Authorities now investigating.
We are actively encouraging any victims or anyone with information on this case because there's potentially more victims out there.
Drayton was initially wanted in New York for the murder of 29-year-old nurse Samantha Stewart.
She was warm, she was kind, she was everything. I am mourning, heartbroken in pieces.
Police saying they also tied him to the rape of a 23-year-old woman in Brooklyn, allegedly meeting his victims online.
It's a common denominator in these two cases is dating websites.
But Drayton took off.
2 independent investigations that, as they progressed, led our detectives to one and the same individual. That individual was tracked across the country.
A fugitive task force and Los Angeles police tracking him down in a North Hollywood hotel where they say they caught him holding a woman hostage, sexually assaulting and trying to kill her. On Monday, Drayton pleading not guilty to charges including attempted murder, rape, and false imprisonment. And authorities in New York say they're waiting to file murder charges against Drayton until he's extradited. In the meantime, he is being held on more than $1 million bail.
So many use these apps. What can it do to stay safe?
Yeah, it's really complicated because a lot of people are using these. Stay in a crowded place. The first date should always be in a crowded place. Don't go on a hike or something in a secluded area. Don't accept any rides. Don't bring someone to your home. Don't accept any rides, even if the person seems normal during that date. And Google your date and reverse Google image your date. So use their picture that they have on their profile, reverse image it to see where else it pops up online.
Good suggestion.
Should be sketchy.
Yeah.
So scary.
Thank you.
Coming up, a hero hiker saved a 55-pound injured dog carrying him miles through snow and ice all the way down and out.
Series of moderate to severe ulcerative colitis. Even when I was there, I never knew when my symptoms would keep us apart. So I talked to my doctor about Humira. I learned Humira can help get and keep UC under control when other medications haven't worked well enough. And it helps people achieve control that lasts, so you can experience few or no symptoms.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, or proton infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Be there for you and them. Ask your gastroenterologist about Humira. With Humira, control is possible.
Mother Nature sure smells amazing. Even in accounts receivable. King Botanico's laundry detergent. Bring the smell of nature wherever you are.
Let someone else do the heavy lifting. TripAdvisor compares prices from over 200 booking sites to find the right hotel for you at the lowest price, so you barely have to lift a finger or a wing. TripAdvisor.
On August 17, take your family on a journey to the end of the last ice age and experience how mankind discovered man's best friend. Alpha, rated PG-13, August 17th in IMAX.
Want to kick up your style? Shop JCPenney for Nike and Adidas for the family. And exertion. Whatever your style, we got it. Or take an extra 20% off select items with card and coupon. JCPenney. Style and value for all.
This is the Pepsi that gets you stuff. Like tickets to...
Who doesn't love Pepsi stuff? Drink Pepsi, get stuff.
When you buy a used car, you should feel confident. That's why CarMax has over 40,000 cars
cars to choose from nationwide, with prices clearly marked, the same online as they are in the stores. That should give you some car buying confidence, the type of confidence you need to wear white after Labor Day. The type of confidence to suddenly switch to an English accent for no reason whatsoever. Yep, at CarMax, it's all about confidence. Nothing but everything. Nailed it. Or should I say, nailed it, governor.
Salads should look like this. Crisp leaves of lettuce, freshly made dressing, clean food that looks this good, delivered to your desk. Now delivered to home or office. Panera, food as it should be.
My name is Rose. Smoking caused my lung cancer. I was on chemo and radiation. They took part of my lung out, and they put this in me to drain the fluid. Every day I prayed that they would remove it. My tip is, be careful what you wish for. That chest tube hurt a lot more coming out than it did going in.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT now.
We're back with a dog-loving hiker who took some risk to save Boomer. That's Boomer on her shoulders right there. She brought him to safety. Adrian Banker here with the story. Hey, Adrian.
We love this story, okay? This woman was this dog's guardian angel. A family tried desperately to find their pet Boomer and left a note hoping someone would spot him. Tia Vargas went the extra mile. She actually went 6 to make sure he made it home. Come here. Single mother of 3, Tia Vargas was hiking down an 11,000-foot summit when she spotted this guy, Boomer, a 55-pound English Springer Spaniel, limping down the mountain after a terrible accident. Boomer's family had searched all day and night, but couldn't find him, and he was all alone.
He ran and he slipped on some snow and he fell 100 feet, and then he rolled 200 feet.
Tia picked him up and began carrying him on her shoulders through rough terrain. At one point, she put Boomer on her lap and slid down a snowy slope. In tears, unable to take one more step, she almost gave up. But after a silent prayer, she made it with Boomer in her arms. 6 miles down the mountain. After hearing of her compassion, the family who was separated from Boomer decided to give him to Tia and her kids.
We prayed that, for a miracle.
Happy that he got good food. My girls begged me for a dog, and I told them that he would pretty much have to be dropped in my lap and already trained, and he saw that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so those little daughters were praying as well. Now, we know Boomer's in that cast, you saw that there, and may need an expensive surgery if he does not heal, but he's getting a lot of love now. And I mean, Tia was all scratched up. She was just so weary and thinking, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but she could not leave that dog on the mountain.
To me, it really is.
So sweet.
She saved him, and he saved her right back. Yeah, you said it. Okay. I dream of Jeannie with the hair.
Make a wish.
Our wish is coming true because Kenny Chesney is here. Yeah, Nation, yes. Very special performance from that man right there. You do not want to miss it. Come on back.
Come away with me, Barnabas.
But I am a simple farmer. My life is here. In the big...
Hoi hoi, Alexander Graham Bell, yeah? No, my number is 1. You must want 2. 2, I say.
Like my father...
Hoi hoi, as long as people talk too loudly on the phone, you've been countering Geico, saving folks money. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Overwhelming air fresheners can send you running. So try Febreze One with no aerosols and no heavy perfumes. So you can spray and stay. Febreze One.
This is not a bed. It's a high-tech sleep revolution. The Sleep Number 360 smart bed intelligently senses your movement and automatically adjusts so you wake up ready to run the world. The new Sleep Number 360 smart bed from $9.99.
You wouldn't accept an incomplete job from anyone else. Why accept it from your allergy pills? Flonase Sensinist relieves all your worst symptoms, including nasal congestion, which most pills don't, and all from a gentle mist you can barely feel. Flonase Sensinist.
A Hilton getaway means you get more because you get another day in paradise. Get a sunset on a Sunday. Get more stories to share.
Get more from your summer getaway with exclusive Hilton offers. Book yours only at Hilton.com.
Get your groove on with 1 a day 50 plus. Get ready for the weather. Complete multivitamins with key nutrients that address 6 concerns of aging, including heart health, supported by B vitamins. Your 1 a day show.
At King's Hawaiian Foods, we believe that when great food and laughs are shared with others, life's just more fun. And who better to share it with than those closest to us, our neighbors. So, pull the grill out front, America. Be sure to have plenty of King's Hawaiian buns and barbecue sauce on hand. And let's make this the summer of the block party. King's Hawaiian Foods. Next time you're grilling, try our delicious King's Hawaiian barbecue sauces, crafted with the irresistible flavors of the islands.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event, and now is the best time to buy.
Classic campfire trucks.
Say what?
Trout. Traps.
All right. You don't think I need both?
Why does he have that accent? Make summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. Now get 0% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 Ford credit bonus cash on a great selection of SUVs. During the Ford Summer Sales Event, get our best offer of the season. 0% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 Ford credit bonus cash.
This is Anthem, and this is Slack, our company's hub for collaboration. Teamwork with Slack happens in channels, so Anna can see that marketing is working on a new campaign, while sales talks terms and closes the New York deal. And Anna can share the new vacation policy with everyone. With Slack, the right people across your company are kept in the loop, and the information you need is always at their fingertips. Slack, where work happens.
Hey, welcome back to GMA. Check out this water spout off the Virginia Beach coastline there. No damage, but sure pretty dark, ominous clouds. Beyond that, as storms rolled off the Mid-Atlantic coast yesterday, we were settling into a pattern that looks like last week a little bit. We've got flash flood watches out now for Atlanta, Nashville, through Charlotte. Really more for tomorrow and through Thursday, but kind of like what we had last week with the trough developing. You might get stuck here with this big blue age kind of feeding some tropical moisture, but I think this time around it's going to be more towards the southeast, but still saturated ground across parts of Pennsylvania might lead to some flooding. 4 to 6 inches of additional rainfall expected. This weathercast is brought to you by Ford. More local news and weather is next.
Often it seems young people feel they'll live forever, so they don't worry much about their health. But as they grow older, they also grow wiser. Maybe that's why families choose Molina Healthcare for accessible, quality healthcare. For basic things like a checkup, to important times like a new arrival. With doctors and hospitals in your community, Molina offers everything you need to keep you and your family healthy.
For more information, visit MolinaHealthcare.com. Molina Healthcare, your extended family.
What's your favorite kind of bug?
Oh, I don't have a favorite bug. Me and bugs don't get along. The scariest one to me is the big spiders. They had spiders in Vietnam so big that when they made their well, it would stick you, okay, and hold you there, and here comes the giant spider. What do you think about that? Scary, ain't it? If you want the real story about pest control, call Atlas Pest Control Incorporated, your professional bug exterminator.
.org.
Good Morning America is sponsored by Slack, where work happens.
Welcome to your ocean meditation. Deep breath in. Imagine the sand. Hey, what was that?
This is nuts!
Yeah, it looks more fun than the sand stuff.
We're all kind of naked.
Yep. Headed to the bar. This is WOS News Now, with what's happening right now in South Mississippi.
Developing now, officials working to keep some vital bridges open in Stone County. The entire state of Mississippi facing an infrastructure crisis right now. Stone County maintains more than 100 bridges. Officials haven't permanently closed any of them yet, but more than 24 bridges had to be worked on within the last 6 months to the tune of about $64,000. Stone County supervisors are looking for an extra $100,000 a year for 5 years to go toward bridge improvements. Looking ahead, officials in Long Beach mapping out their plan. Tonight, city leaders will go over the 2018-2019 numbers. They'll crunch those numbers and decide where to make changes. The budget workshop set for 5 o'clock tonight at Long Beach City Hall. We are going to check in with Wesley Williams now for the very latest on today's weather.
Yeah, Wanda, watching the first alert radar tracking a big thunderstorm that has formed over the last half hour in the Pascagoula area. Check out Market Street as well as Highway 90, Oldsmobile Avenue, and that stretches into Moss Point, especially East Moss Point. Highway 63 all through East Moss Point is really socked in heavy rainfall. And you also can see those lightning strikes. The lightning counter looks like it's at about 10 to 20 strikes in just the last 15 minutes. Most of that rainfall occurring south of I-10, by the way. So that's what we're looking at there on the first alert radar for you. As we zoom out things, though, here you can see that, there's the traffic cam, by the way. In downtown Pascagoula, you can see very heavy rainfall occurring in those locations. Which street is this again? Tell me right here. Market Street there. By Highway 90, you can see the street sign there. And so, yeah, you can see the vehicles as they travel up the street, the water splashing amongst the tires there. So it's going to be a pretty rough go of it for you as we get into the rest of Tuesday. Expect these kinds of scenes to become more widespread. Right now, just cloudy in Biloxi as well as Gulfport. Temperatures are coming in the 80s, and guess what? They're going to stay there, no 90s, because it's going to be wetter today.
WLX Schools Now, sponsored by Scarlet Pearl Casino Resort, D'Iberville.
Start the day with the chicken you love. Get the feeling of Chick-fil-A for breakfast.
Attention patients who received an MRI with contrast. Do you suffer from burning or thickening of the skin, intense bone and joint pain, or severe skin pain? Gadolinium may be the cause. Call attorney Morris Bard at 432-9000.
Doctor's Nutrition has been helping South Mississippians get healthy for more than 20 years.
Let us help you determine your cardiac risk with our expanded cardiac blood panel analysis. At Doctor's Nutrition, we don't just treat a symptom, we help you find the cause.
Turn over a new leaf and not complain so much. Not so many rains. Maybe point you towards the straight and narrow. Put a little motivation and inspiration in your life. Lord knows I need it. But every now and then when I observe human nature and activity, sometimes I gotta get some things off my chest. It's therapeutic. And today I've been driving around town, observing you drive around town, and I got a few things I need to say. Maybe the devil's coming out of me, so I'm gonna give myself permission to divert from the straight and narrow and get on the broader path. And you know those little bright spots on the corner of your vehicle? In the front and in the back, those are not stickers like between, those are called blinkers. And if you turn one on every now and then, people can anticipate your next move. We know the emerging changing lanes are turning. If you slow down and we're behind you, we know that you're about to do something. You didn't just stand behind the wheel and not take your foot off the gas. We can work with you when you do that, but when we're trying to get your next move, you are creating a lot of anger and crazy insanity in our minds. When you're getting onto the interstate or trying to get onto another road, it's not the same merge ordeal. It's not synonymous with stop. You're backing up the traffic flow. So look here, Tennessee, I need you to step on the gas the same way that you do when you see a yellow light. Push on through that thing. And those of you on your cell phones texting and Facebook and news and Twitter, stop it. Just stop it. Quick, because you are a danger to society.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA.
We are so happy to have you with us on this Tuesday morning. Very excited to have Mr. Kenny Chesney here with us. Cannot wait to talk to him before hear him before pleasure.
Right? Yeah, and we hear he likes to go up to the highest seats in the stadium to get a sense of what those fans will see during his concert. So he makes sure that everyone gets to have see his amazing, great show at home. We're going to let you know this.
You got a front row seat this morning, so it doesn't matter where you're sitting, in your couch or here in the studio. We're all going to enjoy Kenny Jensen.
With the helmet?
He's a big sports fan. Yes. We're going to begin with the latest in the trial of President Trump's former campaign chair, Paul Manafort. It starts this morning. I want to go back to you. This is Kara Phillips at the federal courthouse.
Good morning, George. You can see behind me the trial of Paul Manafort, Trump's former campaign chairman, about to begin. Onlookers, protesters already showing up. As you know, Manafort is facing charges of bank and tax fraud. We're not expecting any mention of Russian collusion, though, or the Trump campaign during the trial. In fact, sources telling us that witnesses have actually been told not to utter the T word. That word, of course, is Trump. Now, prosecutors want to prove that Manafort laundered at least $60 million while consulting for pro-Russian Ukrainian politicians, basically living the life of a king. Luxury cars, beachfront properties. As to how President Trump feels about this, well, his latest quote, he says Manafort is being treated like Al Capone. George, just a stress, too. A lot of questions I've had out here. This is not just a white-collar crimes trial right now. This is about a man who the president of the U.S. entrusted to run his campaign. And if convicted, Manafort could spend the rest of his life behind bars. And, George, I just want to let you know for the record, I love my job. I'm glad I'm here. But